Well, hello, and welcome to the south today. I am not on holiday. I won't be having a holiday during the summer because I went away to North America towards the end of the season. So my holiday is done. Although, if you keep it peeled, there's a little sneaky thing coming from North America. Where I did a match diary on something completely different. So that should come out at some point for a bit of a laugh. So I'm a strong believer in the quote "Tide of London, tide of life." I'm not tired of London. I love it. So that's where you find me at the minute. I'm sat on the balcony in the sunshine. I've got a day off work because I came down yesterday for some work things. Took the day off on Friday, so I'm gonna have a weekend down here. I'm sat on my mate's balcony. It's early morning. Got a cup of tea. Obviously, I've got a book with me. I'm tucking into a little bit of Jack Kerouac, Big Sur, and I'm looking out towards a fabulous view of the Barbican. I can see the off BT office tower. See the Shard over there. You can see St Paul's Cathedral just between some of the buildings down there. So yeah, lovely, lovely view. Um, so what's my little vignette going to be for the summer? I mean, my starting point is, and I saw the fabulous Jamie Harris last night for a couple of beers. The starting point was I don't really care about what we do over the summer in terms of football content because I'm of the sort of old enough to think, well, when the football season finished, I I sort of pack it away a bit like pack your sort of winter woolies away or whatever it is. I pack it away, and I don't really think about football or bother about it until we actually play the first league game. I don't get frothy about pre-season friendlies or any of that stuff. So, but I didn't think I could sit here and go, well, my bit for my bit for the pod is I don't want to do a bit for the pod, so I'm doing a bit for the pod. Um, and we know we've got a massive rebuild to do, don't we, this summer? We talked a little bit about it. I only think we've got three starters on the books. Um, so we know we've got a huge rebuild to do. Now that's going to put pressure on the club and on Mr. Jenkins and the recruitment squad. We also know that we're not, unless something radically changes, we're not going to have the biggest budget. So we're going to have to box really clever in the market. That probably means we're going to have people coming in late. And I guess my sort of play is let's not get too frothy and het up about who we're signing, who we haven't signed. Um, when players are coming in, when aren't they coming in? Let's not worry about that too much. The good thing is, we've got Fuchs there. Hopefully, they've been doing some thinking. We're not changing the manager at the same time, so hopefully he's had a chance to build up contacts. And then for me, it's this classic old adage, isn't it? That football is not played on paper; it's played on grass. So the amount of times we'll sign a player, and some people will be going, "Oh, that looks great on paper," or the vice versa, and it's irrelevant. And I think quite a lot about this in terms of, if you're looking for a 1 year deal as a player, and you're based in wherever it is in the country, and Newport's your best offer, you come to us, but we never think about what that means for a player. Potentially leaving his family behind, moving to somewhere he doesn't know, up in sticks, probably having to live in a shared house with a few other players, or maybe in a flat on their own. Um, that's not easy, and many of us who have had to do similar things and there's up in sticks and moving for work. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, and I think we should cut players a bit of slack around that. Some are going to settle brilliantly. I'm sure the club all do all they can to help them, but others will struggle, and that will affect their form. It was interesting listen to the Robbie Wilmot interview the other day, how he was sort of saying, he could really get up for certain games but struggle for others. And I was thinking, it's like Bobby Cameron, isn't it? If you could get up for 30 games a season, we wouldn't be in the problems that we're in. Um, and I do think the squad balance is going to be interesting for next season. But I think the only way we're going to know about that is just to let it run. Just it's when they take the field for the first game and the first few games where we're gonna get a view, because I remember when we signed Mickey, and I think the view was at the time, oh, that's a risky one. I think his knee, I think his injury stuff wasn't great, and And yet he turned out to have an incredible career for us. And there's loads of examples like that, isn't there, if we think back. Like last summer, probably our marquee signing was, was Matt Smith, Welsh international, didn't have a great season, did he? Right? So just because somebody looks good on paper doesn't really mean anything. There's a whole host of things that are going on behind the scenes. And for me, one of the biggest things that also came out of both the Robbie Wilmot interview and when we did Josh Laverty is that idea of like, is it a good dressing room? Is that culture right in there? You can't tell that from the, what people sound like on paper. Someone's played for X club. It's meaningless, isn't it? We all know that sometimes the right player just fits with the right manager, the teammates in the right team. I've had loads of players that have had a great one season for us, moved on elsewhere, done nothing. It's such an intangible thing. So my plea, I guess, would be players will come in. Some of them we're going to think, oh, they're great. Some of them we're going to think, oh, they're bobbins. But we're never going to know that until we see them on the pitch. So let's not spend our summer worrying and frothing and concerned that we've signed somebody from, Penny-Bont or whatever it may be. Let's hope, put our trust in Fuchs and the others that they know full well that they need to build a more balanced squad than we've had. Jenkins has been quite clear about that. So I think, they will build, hopefully they will build a more balanced squad than we've had previously, so we're not in that dogfight again. However, it's going to be difficult for them, we know that. So I think the intention is there to have something a bit more balanced. Whether we can get there, who knows. But either way, let's just make sure, come that first game, we're all there, giving all the support that we can. And I will sign off now for the summer and have a cup of tea, read some books, watch a bit of cricket, and not think about football too much. And whatever you do over the summer, I hope you have lovely holidays, chill out, don't worry about things. Football's just a game, let's just remember that. It's just a few people kicking a pig's bladder about a bit of grass, isn't it? So let's not worry about it too much. Let's see where we are come the next season, and we'll take it from there. All right, all the best, everybody. Look after yourselves, after each other, keep it county. Cheers, all.